You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, we have got Carter and Hope officially engaged and blissfully happy. But is Carter destined for heartache? It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about the possibility that Hope dumps Carter at the altar. And please click subscribe if you're not following us. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but this Insta reunion / Insta forgiveness / Insta engagement with Carter and Hope just doesn't feel to me like the start of a happily ever after. It feels off and it feels contrived, to be frank. Now, whether that's because things are going to go awry or weird writing, I don't know. But, you know, Carter heard from Hope that he misunderstood her words to Liam. Remember, Carter thought Hope was saying she loves him and wants to be with Liam. And that certainly sounds like what we heard Hope saying. But then she claimed her stance was that Liam's brain cancer crisis made her not want to waste time being away from Carter, and she cares about her ex-husband but doesn't want to be with him. And despite Hope overhearing Carter and Daphne and knowing he kissed the other woman, Carter promised to be faithful and, you know, didn't mean anything. He said he'd never look at another woman. And he said he'd support Hope throughout Liam's ordeal. So Carter just got Hope back and then decided 5 minutes later he's gonna propose. She had barely forgiven Carter, and then he completely shocks Hope when he pulls out this ring. So how did Carter just happen to have a diamond ring in a box at that moment? Was he already planning to propose to Hope, or is this a leftover? Is it a recycled ring? It might have belonged to Maya Avon or Paris Buckingham. I don't really remember their rings. I know it's not the ring he gave Zoe Buckingham, because that one was really big and really flashy. So initially, there was just shock all over Hope's face, and it might have felt too soon to her. You know, she told Carter that she needed to be cautious, and he knew that Hope wasn't ready, and it definitely looked like she was going to say no. But then Carter talked her into it, although it was a hard sell. And finally, after a whole bunch of pushing, Hope did say yes to Carter. And of course, I think Hope loves Carter, but her trust in him has been shaken to its core. Plus, the proposal just came out of nowhere and so quickly after they had reunited. So Hope was a little hesitant, but in the end, she said yes. At the same time, it was pretty out of character for her to say yes to a quickie proposal like this, whether it's with Carter or Thomas or anybody, but that's what they're doing on B&B. So right now, Hope and Carter are both over the moon happy. They hightailed it over to the company, and Hope wasted no time at Forrester Creations before showing off the rock that Carter gave her. She announced their engagement to Brooke, Steffy, and Ridge. And of course, Brooke is ecstatic for both of them. Hope's mom thinks Carter is Hope's destiny and will make her happy. Steffy wants to be happy for Hope, and I think she is to some extent, but Ridge and Steffy swapped a look at the news. Ridge and Steffy both seem a little nervous about Hope and Carter's reunion. Just that in itself, never mind the engagement, which definitely has them nervous. Because when they were together, that's when they stole the company from Steffy, Ridge, and Eric. But to her credit, Steffy is really trying for Hope's sake. Ridge is also playing nice, and he admitted he wants Hope to be happy. And of course, Ridge wants Carter happy because that's his best friend. So right now, everything's going great, but I do have to wonder how long it's going to last. As happy as Hope seems, it feels like she was pressured into saying yes. Maybe that wasn't Carter's intention, but who knows, because he is a serial proposer who never manages to get all the way to I do. 3 engagements, but no wife. Not yet, not ever. And yes, he loves Hope and has the best intentions, but remember his last engagement? That one blew up at the altar too, but Carter did the ditching. If you recall, Quinn showed up just as Carter was saying his vows to Paris, and Quinn said she loved him and asked him to walk away from his bride, and Carter did it. So I gotta say, because of that alone, If Hope dumps Carter at the altar, it's a little slice of karma to go with the wedding cake. Let's consider just quickly also why exactly Hope said yes to Carter's proposal. We've heard Liam tell her over and over he wants Hope to get back with Carter. And Liam was just explaining to Finn why he's pushing that. Because Liam's dying, he wants to make sure each of his exes has a good man in their life to help raise his daughters. And Hope has heard that echoing in her head from Liam. And if you remember the last time Hope turned down a proposal, the one from Thomas, he walked away in anger and he left the country, and that was it. So Hope may not want to risk losing Carter the way she lost Thomas. And of course, you know, Carter would be a wonderful stepdad to Beth. But even so, yes was not the answer that Hope wanted to give Carter. Instead, it felt to me like he pressured her, and then she had that pressure from Liam and the consequences of saying no. That was a little bit of pressure that was kind of scaring her. But that yes doesn't mean that Hope's going to say, I do. Not at the end. First, it seems like Liam is going to do the chemo and radiation protocol. We know Bridget's back soon, and she may be part of Liam's treatment team. And if he recovers, that's going to change things for Hope. That's just a fact. She may realize she's still in love with Liam and she wants to be with him now that he's not under a death sentence. Second, those doubts about Daphne might crop up again. I'm not sure the nose is gone for good, and Carter was really tempted. And third, Deacon does not want Hope with Carter, and if Liam lives, I expect Deacon will press her towards her ex-husband. Plus, from a Bold and the Beautiful perspective, Carter never, ever gets the girl in the end. Even Quinn, who came back from him, dumped him before all was said and done. So Hope may not go through with marrying Carter. They might plan the perfect wedding day and Hope makes it all the way to the altar. If Bold really wanted to do something karmic, you know, they'd have Liam interrupt the wedding and ask Hope to choose him. And it would all come full circle like what Carter did to Paris, and it would be done to him. And he could be crushed on his wedding day. If Hope walks away on their big day, poor Carter would be devastated. So however it happens before the wedding, during the wedding, after the wedding, I just don't think Hope is in this with Carter for the long run. And to be honest, I don't think she's going to go through with a wedding to Carter. I don't think she would dump him to be malicious. But then again, in the end, I just don't see Hope getting a happily ever after with him. Let me know what you think.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.